They called it Hollow Ridge, a stretch of forest so ancient that trees twisted like frozen screams and shadows moved long after daylight died. Villagers never crossed its edge after sunset, not because of ghosts, but because of the beast, an animal spoken of in whispers only when fires burned low and doors were bolted shut. The creature was said to be older than the forest itself. Wolves feared it. Birds abandoned the skis when it walked. Farmers found their cattle untouched, not killed for food, but simply gone. Whatever the beast wanted, it never left a trace of blood, only silence. A hunter's son didn't believe the stories. He was 17, bold, reckless, and convinced fear was only for the weak. When the villagers spoke of seeing glowing eyes between trees, laughed. When they heard howls that were too deep for wolves, he dismissed them as wind. Until the night his dog vanished. There were footprints leading toward Hollow Ridge, larger than any wolf, padded yet clawed, like something from nightmares. Against warnings, grabbed his bow and followed. The deeper he walked, the thicker the air became, as if the forest itself didn't want him there. Leaves didn't rustle, insects didn't chirp. Even his heartbeat seemed too loud. Shadows shifted. Branches formed shapes like hunched animals watching him. Then he heard it. Breathing. Not human, not wolf, something ancient and patient. Whimpered somewhere ahead. Sprinted, tripping roots, lungs burning, until he entered a clearing illuminated by moonlight and froze. Stood trembling beside a creature like none had imagined. It was massive, larger than a horse, crouched low like a panther but horned like a stag. Fur black as ink swallowed light. Eyes glowed molten gold. Its breath curled as mist, though the night wasn't cold. But it didn't attack. Instead, it turned slowly toward, as if it had been waiting. Raised his bow, but his hands shook uncontrollably. The beast didn't growl, it spoke. Not with voice, but with thought. Why do you trespass, child? Stumbled backward, dropping the bow. His pulse drummed in his ears. You look for what is already returned. Leave now. Trotted toward as if dismissed, but stood frozen. He managed to whisper, What are you? The beast's gaze sad, almost human. I am the last. Then it faded, literally dissolved like smoke swallowed by moonlight. The forest exhaled. Insects chirped again. Trees swayed. Hollow Ridge breathed. Staggered home, dog at his feet, mind broken between terror and awe. He thought the horror was over. He was wrong. Part 2. The next morning, the villagers woke to chaos. Livestock barns were empty, not destroyed, not broken into, simply vanished. Footprints covered the soil, the same monstrous tracks had followed. People looked at him suspiciously when he returned with his dog. Someone murmured, he brought it back. Fear spread than disease. Old Harold, the shaman, pulled aside. Boy, the ridge is thinning. The creature guarded it. If it spoke to you, it chose you. Protested, I didn't choose anything. But that night, he dreamt of the beast, chained under mountains, roaring against shadows more terrifying than itself. Something darker was awakening beneath Hollow Ridge. 3 nights later, the forest's edge glowed, trees cracking, roots writhing as if trying to escape. Villagers fled. Didn't. He followed Harold back to the ridge. The beast appeared again, wounded this time, its golden eyes fading, its body smoking as if fighting something unseen. Stepped forward, terrified but drawn. What happened to you? A thought hit him like thunder. I kept it sealed, but your kind fed the darkness, fear, greed, blood. The door cannot hold. The ground split. From the fissure emerged something worse, a creature made of shadow, a predator older than time. The beast lunged, pinning it back, but its strength faltered. Ran before he could think, toward the bell tower at the forest's edge. Legend said its ancient bell summoned wardens from beyond. He climbed, breath ragged, and rang it once, twice, until his hands bled. The world shook. Light descended, not divine, but wild, ancient, primal. It wrapped the beast, reforging strength, sharpening claws, igniting its eyes. The wounded guardian rose like a god unchained. One final roar shattered the darkness. When dawn came, Hollow Ridge looked ordinary, almost peaceful. The beast was gone, but knew it wasn't dead. It had returned to its watch beneath the roots. And now marked by it, understood a truth the villagers never would. The beast wasn't the monster. It was the shield. The real monsters were waiting, hungry and patient, and when men forgot fear again, they would rise. Until then, Hollow Ridge remained silent. The villagers believed the terror was over, but felt the opposite. Something had changed inside him, a pull toward the ridge, a whisper in the back of his thoughts, as if the creature had left an imprint. 3 days passed before the dreams began. He wasn't asleep, not fully, more like dragged somewhere between waking breath and death silence. In the visions, the beast wasn't monstrous. It appeared young, graceful, unscarred, not a predator, but a sentinel in chains. Would see a shadowed throne, tall as mountains, carved from roots and bone, and beneath it figures, twisted, formless, waiting, watching. Do not forget, the beast's voice echoed in his skull. This piece is a pause, not an ending. Woke drenched in sweat each time. His dog refused to sleep indoors anymore. He'd curl its door facing the forest, growling into empty air. Meanwhile, the villagers were celebrating. A strange harvest followed, crops grew fast, animals birthed twins, even the old woke with renewed strength. Priests claimed it was divine blessing. Harold the shaman wasn't fooled. Every boon has a balance, he warned. What comes easiest takes the most in return. No one listened, but remembered the beast's voice. He remembered the shadow crawling up from under the earth. He remembered the door that was weakening. One evening he returned to the clearing where he first saw it. Hollow Ridge was silent, but not empty. The trees leaned inward like ribs closing around a heart. A presence stirred. He spoke aloud, voice trembling, "Are you here?" The air thickened, the shadows deepened. The beast emerged, scarred, weary, its golden eyes dimmer than before. "You should not be here," it said without speaking. "You came back," whispered. "I never left," the beast replied. "This forest is the prison, I am the lock." Stepped closer, fear had softened, replaced by something like sadness. "Why me?" he asked. "Because you listened," the beast answered. "And because you saw me, not as legend, not as curse." Swallowed hard. "But why guard this? Why not leave, escape?" The beast lowered its head, almost human in its sorrow. "I was born to this, made for this. My existence is the boundary." Reached out, not quite touching, but offering. "Then let me help." The beast's gaze sharp.